Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 255.
255.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Owner Becky Mankin just spent a few days on a Universal Studios influencer trip. The agency not only has MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel, but they also have Universal Fan Travel.
That's right.
And so for, if you're adding a couple days, a few days on to a Disney trip and heading over to Universal, they also specialize in that. Not that they can't book everything pretty much in the world. They book a lot, including cruises, but they specialize in anything, especially in the Orlando area, that you might want to do, or Disney Cruises, Adventures by Disney.
Pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything.
And we will be getting to Universal ourselves very soon, next week. So in a upcoming show, we should have some more Universal information. Mm-hmm. Anyway, highly recommended MEI Travel, Mouse Fan Travel, and Universal Fan Travel.
So now we're heading to the Walt Disney World Boardwalk, which is just maybe 5 to 7 minutes walk away, Trattoria al Forno from Epcot. Mm-hmm. And here we are inside. We are here for the Bon Voyage Character Breakfast. And you can see already we're seeing some character merchandise.
Yeah, you start off by seeing the character merchandise and you might think this is really geared towards kids, but I find this is more of an adult experience, probably the most adult character breakfast I have done except for maybe at the Four Seasons. I'll just start off by saying this exceeded all of my expectations. We were actually there with our good friends Curious Axel and his wife, Elisa, and oh boy, did we have a good time.
We did, and I mean, it's really geared towards families and adults, kids, everybody, and I think that as far as the food, certainly it is a cut above a lot of the character meals we've been to.
And speaking of the food, here is the menu now. Quite a bit to choose from, and I like that they deliver, it's full service. It's not a buffet, and a lot of these character breakfasts are buffets.
But we went to Ohana last year, the character breakfast there, and I think the food here is better.
So let's start off with these very themed pastries.
Yes, you have Ariel's clamshells, you have Rapunzel's braid, which I believe is actually like a chocolate croissant, and you have the tangled sun, and I'm not sure if there's one or two other themed items in here, but those are three, and I thought they were very good. The tangled sun, it sort of reminds me of like a Napoleon mill fuel.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to say it in French. But anyway, it just has that light, airy, crispy taste to it. Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. I think we had extra of that. And, we didn't have a special table request or anything, but this worked out perfectly because where we were seated is right where the characters came in for their grand entrances.
Yes, and they actually do have grand entrances. They're announced as they arrive into the restaurant. And I just want to mention, it took almost an hour for us to meet them, probably based on where we were seated.
Which is not a complaint.
Not a complaint. The breakfast seems to last about an hour total, and we were at the end of the meet and greets.
Right.
And for me, it was actually fine.
And here is a little fruit salad course that we had, which negates all that pastry.
You received the pastry basket, which is in the frying pan. And then also that, and then your entree.
And you can see that you can request more pastry, although it came in a little bit of a smaller skillet.
It was, but I feel like there were more pastries in the smaller skillet, so I thought that was very interesting. She brought like 3 tangled suns. We have Prince Eric, who just arrived.
And that can only mean that Ariel will make a big appearance, and hers was a grand appearance because after this, all the characters were together, so they started to do a little character parade involving the kids.
And I just want to mention the characters don't meet together, but they do interact some
we'll see that soon.
Right. So each of the characters will meet individually at the table.
And I think we're going to see some Curious Axel.
And
there's
me.
Denise having some delightful orange juice there. And again, here comes the little character parade all around the restaurant. Mostly, though, it seemed to be back into the rear of the restaurant.
Right. Well, where you went to go get video, I was going to go out for photos, but it was very quick, but it didn't really arrive to where we were as much. I think some of the servers and some of the kids did kind of parade past our table.
And this is something that all the character meals seem to have, where they do the napkin in the air, or, they have a little music. It only happened once in the hour that we were there.
Right. That's why I feel like it's almost like an hour event. And so by the time you get your food and meet the characters, you're looking at about an hour to about an hour.
So speaking of the food, we're about to see the steak and eggs. That is my course, my choice.
Right. And so you have the oak grilled steak. Is there eggs underneath your...
Yes.
Oh, and I didn't even realize that. And asparagus. And then the potatoes. And I tried the steak and it was excellent. And then this is the Swimmer's Delight.
And it includes salmon. And Elisa, who had this, said that there was a little bit too much cheese inside the little omelet for her, but she did quite like it.
And mine was, they call them it's like tangled pancakes with bacon and then a seasonal compote.
Nice presentation.
Very nice presentation. It's part of the reason I got it. A lot of the reason I got it. They're not as fluffy as what they say. They're called, they say fluffy pancakes, and they are thick, but I'm not sure I would say fluffy.
And Axel, who you see holding up the frying pan for Mr. Flynn, he also had the steak and eggs, and he really enjoyed his as well.
And we don't see Flynn Rider in the parks as often as we used to. When Tangle first came out, we saw him at the Magic Kingdom. And now I think he's more for special events and such, so you get to see him now at breakfast.
Well, he does appear in the Festival of Fantasy Parade every day, swinging back and forth on the float.
But not for meet and greets.
And I mentioned that to him. I said he needed a hearty breakfast with all that swinging he does every day. And here comes Rapunzel. She was tremendous.
Now, Rapunzel knows how to do the photos. She'll be like, okay, well, you over there, look at the camera this way, because we had like 3 cameras, and she was very good at pointing out which one everybody should be looking at.
Oh yeah, she was excellent, and she just demonstrated the hit with the frying pan, because earlier when we had the frying pan, we noticed there was a suspicious dent on the bottom, and that is true. So she was sort of denying anything to do with that, but Flynn thought otherwise, I think.
You know what? I wasn't even really listening to what was going on. But I just want to mention it was nice that even though they don't meet together, there is, interaction throughout the restaurant every so often.
Yeah, I think the character interactions was above and beyond the things that I've seen in other of these character meals.
Right. And I just think overall, you mentioned this was more of an adult experience in the sense, I think just the setting and plus the food options certainly lend themselves to that.
And here is Prince Eric making a quick stop at our table, doing the rotation.
Yes, and we don't see Prince Eric really out for meet and greets too often, do we? I'm just trying to remember.
I don't think so. I don't think at all. Only for special ticketed events he'll come out, but very rare to get Prince Eric. I don't think you can meet him regularly in the parks at all.
So, I mean, you do see Rapunzel and you do see Ariel in the parks,
right.
But it's kind of nice, a little more rare meet and greets in here.
And here is Ariel making her stop, and then Ariel will be the last character that we're going to see. But again, I think it's just right.
Yes, and I think once they were finished and they had met everybody, what was it? We were still kind of hanging around for another 10 to 15 minutes, getting everything done, and they hadn't shown back up yet. So it's just sort of interesting how that worked.
Yeah, perfectly timed. And here's a little picture taking with Mr. Curious Axel. And now all the characters are heading out. So once they leave, like you said, I think that is time that they sort of refresh the seating.
That's what it seems like to me. I mean, this breakfast wasn't really on my radar that much until Axel said he wanted to do it.
Right.
So I really didn't know that much about it until we showed up.
And it's interesting that they leave through the Abracadabra. That must be their break area. And here is little Pascal, a glowing Pascal that we were able to borrow.
Right. Now it costs like $6, or if you have a child's drink special, I think it's a special punch, it's like $8 to get the punch with the clip. And I just thought that was very cool.
So anyway, I think we both agreed it was a highly recommended, excellent character meal. And what better thing to do after all that food? A nice walk over to Epcot.
Yes, and Axel is a DVC member. This was the first time that we have been able to go upstairs We used to be able to go up here anytime when we were like kids and
When it was the
teenagers.
ImageWorks.
Yes, until that closed. So it was really nice to actually be able to be up here again.
Yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful lounge it has turned out to be. I mean, I think we were there for over an hour relaxing. They bring you little snacks every half an hour. There's a Coca-Cola freestyle machine, very comfortable chairs. It was really a nice place because we had already walked all around. We've done other things at Epcot. It really is the ultimate relax and recharge, two of my favorite words in the theme parks.
And now we are heading out. We are heading over to the former Universe of Energy. And this is during the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. They have a section called the Expression section, which where guests paint by number and then you get the free postcards. But we already showed, I think, last week the Figment,
right,
which is on the other wall. But now they have the monorail up. And I just thought this was a really great location where you could see the monorail on the left-hand side and then the monorail on the right-hand side.
Yeah, too bad it wasn't the red real monorail that was going by. That would be really a perfect picture. But that was really neat. I thought that was great. And also just the other day, a couple days ago, we found out there is a third mural that we participated in and we helped paint. And it also involves Figment, and here is a look at it right here.
I'm not really sure what the meaning of this one is. It looks like he's, under the water with all the creatures, but I like getting the postcards, so we painted a couple times this time.
Yeah, it looks like he's almost with the Nemo and Friends characters in a way, although they aren't exactly that. He has a little bit of an 8-bit look to him, too.
That's certainly in the... Now, if you look at the postcard, that's not how he looks, but
Correct.
That's what I thought he looked like in the mural.
And they replaced the Week 1 mural with this new Week 3 mural with Figment there. So it makes me wonder what we're going to get for Week 4, and that'll go over the monorail, so it better be a good one.
Well, it will be very interesting to me to see if they repeat any of these, because we're looking at, we're heading into the 4th week now.
And when you get really close, like we just did, you can see the actual squares that people paint. You're able to paint up between 5 and 7 squares.
Depending on if it's getting towards the end of the day, they try to get you to paint more.
So now we're off to LEGOLAND for Ninjago Weekends.
Right, and we're actually coming up on the last one. It was only 3 weekends. We were there for the first one, and then now we're doing the show before the third one. And this is the Ninjago. It's a kid sushi with this is one of their special items. They have a few different items, and you can see the Rice Krispie treats, but they make it to look kind of like sushi, but it's sweet, not savory.
I love it. I always like themed food, and you have the little fish in there, and of course it's supposed to be sushi, so really, really nice. I always love Legoland anyway, but it was really fun to go to a themed little weekend like this with all the Ninjago characters.
We are pass holders, so this is something we actually enjoy the park a lot, and especially the Cypress Gardens area, but it's fun when they do extra events, which they do during the year for Halloween, for Christmas. This is new. The Ninjago Weekends is new this year. This is Ninjoga. Is that how you say it?
Yes, Ninjoga. I was just checking my notes to see the correct pronunciation.
So the kids are doing yoga here. I mean, they really do a lot of interactive elements to these type of weekends.
Absolutely. It's really a great event for the kids and the adults. Here is Master Wu. And later on, we're actually going to meet, for the very first time, we will meet Master Wu.
And I will say, I don't watch the Lego show.
The Ninjago show.
Oh, well, right. Any of the Lego shows, we do watch the Lego movies, which I really enjoy. But I've never seen the Ninjago show, so I don't have a lot of awareness of the characters. But it's still fun to see them in the park and to see the kids getting very excited to meet these characters.
Well, not just the kids. I think I was very excited. I don't care who the characters are. I enjoy meeting them, and I believe this is Kai here showing his ninja moves.
And we have met Kai and Nya before, and we met them because we were here for the
opening of Ninjago World.
Right? But we've ridden it since. The Ninjago, the ride, it's sort of like a Buzz Lightyear attraction, and it's really, for me, one of the best.
Oh, I totally agree. The Ninjago ride, best thing in the whole park, and I like it better than Buzz Lightyear and Midway Mania. How do you like that?
I like Midway Mania too, but I mean, it really is a very unique attraction. And here we are meeting Lloyd, who is the Green Ninja. And it says here that he leads the secret ninja forces in the LEGO Ninjago movie.
Well, let me tell you, he did not disappoint. He had quite the display of ninja moves there. And here is Master Wu, again, his first appearance.
Yes, and you really enjoyed meeting Master Wu.
Yes.
And this is just such a great event. Again, it really is while it's geared for kids, we had a very good day here.
Yeah, while adults with no kids in our very early 50s, and we had a great time here. Oh, this was fun. The scavenger hunt.
Yes, there's actually a number of other things to do, including the scavenger hunt through Miniland. And this is called the Where's Wu scavenger hunt. And he was actually pretty easy to find. And if you've never been to Legoland, they have all these wonderful Miniland buildings. And that's, again, one of my favorite parts of the whole park.
And I like that they update them. When Daytona International Speedway itself upgraded, they upgraded their Daytona. It's the same here with Kennedy Space Center. They've just recently added some new areas. You can see where it's very white over there. All that is new to kind of match the real thing. And we noticed the Orlando Eye was there.
And that's pretty new.
Yeah, very new, like within the last 3 months.
Right. So there's a lot to see here. Plus, during the LEGO Ninjago days, you can look for Master Wu.
And you can build Lego models yourself. It was also a model build here, and there's all kinds of Legos, and you're able to sort of I guess it was good versus evil.
That's what they call it, good versus evil build competition. And it says use your building skills and imagination to build a ninja or a baddie. And so somebody gets to win, I think, a prize pack. And that I thought was a really fun thing to watch.
And we actually observed it. All those models you just saw were all built by guests there, and everybody was having a good time. So anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the Ninjago weekend. I would go again.
And I just want to say, I think Legoland's for everybody. There's something for everybody there.
So now we're going to head over to Disney's Polynesian Resort very early in the morning.
Yes, there was a super blue blood moon eclipse is what it was called. I actually noticed when we were at Epcot the previous evening, it's like, why is the moon so big today? And it turned out it was like the super moon. But then when I looked it up, it was like, oh, in the morning there's going to be a little something extra.
Well, here we all are out bright and early at about 6:30 at this point on the beach there at the Poly where Curious Axel is staying.
And it's not that often that we have seen, that I have seen the sunrise at Walt Disney World. I don't want to say through the years I've seen it a number of times, but it's been quite some time.
Especially those 24-hour events, probably the last
Yes.
time. And there's your first picture that you took of the moon.
Right, and this is... I wanted to go because they said it's the first lunar eclipse to coincide with a blue moon in 150 years. So I figured, here's my one chance. Like,
Right.
if we just sleep through it, then,
It was such a last minute. We were at BOMA and we decided we're going to do this thing.
Well, I said,
tomorrow.
I'm definitely going to go out and do that. And then you decided to, and then we went to Kona Cafe.
And we will see Kona Cafe next week. And now we're on our way to the Magic Kingdom. It was a beautiful day after seeing the excitement of the moon there.
Yes, and this is looks like a Mardi Gras style Mickey Mouse, and here comes the train.
And that is very soon. Fat Tuesday coming up very, very soon. I can't wait for that. And like I said, it is a beautiful day. And what better way to celebrate our 300,000 subscribers. Now it's more than that on our YouTube channel. I hadn't even known. You texted me as we were walking around the Magic Kingdom to tell me the good news. So thank you, everybody, for everyone's support in watching the channel.
We really definitely appreciate it. And, it's exciting for us. So.
Very. I loved finding out that way, so it was really nice. And thanks to Axel for surprising me with that button while we were taking pictures. He had a button made, so...
And you were with Axel. I was on the other side of the park just kind of taking pictures, but you had seen that Splash Mountain is down. I guess it's been down for a number of weeks now. But I guess it'll be back up like tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
tomorrow.
You saw it as just before it comes out of refurbishment.
We are recording this on February 1st. That means February 2nd this will reopen, and we'll have to get over there as soon as we can to see if there's any changes or they've upgraded it in any way.
We're probably not riding right now.
No, I
it's
will.
too cold.
I will ride. I will absolutely ride. Perhaps tomorrow we can ride.
We'll see. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be tomorrow.
So even though Curious Axel is here in sunny Florida, before he left, he did this nice segment for us on the Season of the Force at Disneyland Paris.
And definitely check out his YouTube channel at Curious Axel. He will also have quite a bit of Walt Disney World coverage because he is here right now.
Yes, and we will have all kinds of upcoming coverage from all the adventures we're having. It's been a week already and another one to come, so lots of goodness. Anyway, here he is, Curious Axel, talking about Star Wars Season of the Force at Disneyland Paris.
Hello there. Sun came out, but it's still cold enough to wear a hat, so we're allowed to wear hats. We're here for a very special reason. Let's go find out why. We're here for the Season of the Force, and they really upped their game in decorations. This TIE fighter is huge. So is this X-Wing. I think we should stay in team and have Season of the Force menu, wrapping paper, and there's the rat burger. Got for another Season of the Force treat. This is called a chocolate dome. We have the little chocolate with Season of the Force on it. So, Season of the Force is not only about the giant props and the food, it's also about the shows.
Stay alert.
Human cyber relations, and this is my counterpart, R2D.
So guys, this was Season of the Force here in Disneyland Paris. I hope you have the time to enjoy it. Runs until end of March, so you're more than welcome to come and check it out for yourselves. See you real soon, guys. Bye-bye.
All I can say is that guy looks very cold.
But not anymore.
Not anymore.
Although
Shorts and t-shirt.
Although it was cold, you know, for the Polynesians.
Yes.
So But we did actually see this, a little of Season of the Force last year. Thanks to Axel for showing this again. But
on the last day and the
Yes.
very last performance of it. So I loved it. I actually thought that they did a great job. I think I prefer it out there than the projection show they have at the Hollywood Studios.
well, here, their Tower of Terror is fantastic for projections.
Absolutely. So now we're going to move on to Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California.
Well, we sent our California correspondence to Knott's Berry Farm for the Knott's Peanut Celebration. This runs weekends through February 25th, 2018. This is totally new, although they have had the characters. They do have the characters in the park for, we've seen a skating show with
Right.
Peanuts and other events. And we were told this is really more geared towards little kids, think 4 or 5 years old.
Well, but there is one aspect of this that looks especially good to me that I would like. It is the world premiere, the first ever appearance from Pigpen.
Yes, and I just want to mention, even though they told us more geared towards little kids, they loved it, and they're in our age bracket, so
above our age.
they had a really great time.
There he is. There is Pigpen himself, and if you look right next, there are actual pigs in that pen next to Pigpen's pen.
And I would really actually have liked to have been here for the event. They also have a boysenberry festival that I would love to see sometime, but Pigpen here is really. We were waiting to see Pigpen because he is a new character.
And
for
I should
this.
mention thank you to our friend here who did a great job of capturing this. And again, it makes me really want to go. Hopefully we can see this one of these years in
Yes.
person.
And they have shows and such. They have Woodstock's Musical Festival, which, like the Woodstock Musical Festival, I guess, and then Peanuts Sketch School, Peanuts Fiesta Fantasy.
Well,
they
I
have
believe
photo
this
ops.
is the Fiesta Fantasy right here.
And actually, I think I wrote Peanuts Fiesta Fantasy, but I think it was supposed to be like Lucy and Sally's Fiesta Fantasy. I don't have that in front of me, but that's what our correspondent had told me.
Well, it looks like a lot of audience participation. Everybody is having a good time.
Yes, and I think I would have enjoyed this very much in person.
I think we're going to see something where you learn to draw the characters as well.
Right, that is the Peanuts Sketch School. And I just want to mention, while we are looking at this also, Knott's is only like 15 minutes away from Disneyland. So if you're out at Disneyland, this is not far away, and that's on a good traffic time period, but it's really close. And they have the Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant,
so good.
which has really good chicken. So it's really a terrific place to go.
Well, I was just there on our last trip in September. I went out there for the premiere or the opening of Knott's Scary Farm, and it was wonderful. I had a great time at that. So, look at the treats.
Yes, and they have a variety of different treats. These are the Charlie Brownies.
Charlie Brownies. I love it.
And I guess other places have had Charlie Brownies before, but those look terrific. And then you have the Snoopy Cupcakes, which I know our correspondents tried.
Oh,
and
boy.
the Peanut Butter Funnel Cake. I've never heard of a peanut butter funnel cake before, and that looks very decadent.
Snoopy cookies.
We've got Snoopy cookies. And so there's a whole wide variety of different items. And I don't know who Olaf is here, but Olaf's House of Fun. And then we have one of our correspondents here, Carol.
She's like the Lucy. She's taking, and there's
Yes.
Brad, who is taking the blanket from Snoopy.
And kissing Snoopy. These are great photo opportunities.
I should say extra props to Brad for wearing his boysenberry colored suit. That is a class act, sir.
Yes.
So anyway, it looks like a great time. So we'll have to get out there. That is another show, believe it or not.
That's another show, and I would like to get back to Knott's maybe in a couple months. We will we'll head over there. So thanks again to MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel, and they are also Universal Fan Travel. So anytime you want to book pretty much anywhere you want to go, they do specialize in Disney and cruises, in Universal. Definitely, please check them out.
20 years in business.
Almost, just like Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Absolutely.
Almost 20 years now.
And we have lots coming up in the coming weeks. We have the earlier mentioned Kona Cafe breakfast with a lot of Tonga goodness and a special treat that we tried too, which was the mimosa flight.
Yes, and that was actually very nice. And That was a last minute addition because we were doing
Because of the moon.
Yes.
We blame it on the moon. We decided to do the moon from Boma, which was another big meal experience that we're going to be talking about. We also have Trails and Brunch, which we haven't done since it started. So it'll be interesting to see how that has changed. And also, we're doing an Ohana feast for Curious Axel's birthday. So that is tomorrow. That'll be also very interesting, not to mention the Cat Cafe.
Or the Orlando Cat Cafe. I was there, probably about 10 days ago now, and we'll be talking about that.
Plus various theme parks, of course. I'm sure we'll make it to the parks to see all the latest.
Universal.
Oh, yeah. We're spending a day at Universal. I almost forgot about that.
So we have a lot
and the
coming up.
DVC party.
Oh, yes.
The Moonlight Magic. Moonlight Magic.
Yes.
I always want to say madness.
It
could be madness.
We have a lot coming up.
Yes. So anyway, thanks again for listening. Happy birthday to Curious Axel. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.